All right, everyone. Thank you so much for your continued patience here for the managed care webinar. We'll go ahead and get started here. Now, again, I just want to welcome everyone here to this managed care webinar here today. I will let you know, my name is Chris, and I will be running you through this webinar here today. I do also have my colleague Lyndon on chat here as well. So if you have any questions during this or this webinar, feel free to post those questions in the bottom right-hand corner of the browser there, and you should be able to get your questions answered. With that said, we will also spend a little time at the end here to go over any questions that you may have. Now, as more patients are fit with hearing aids obtained through a third-party administrator, Blueprint OMS provides these patients, along with their associated fitting fee and contracted service expiration dates, without affecting your average selling price of hearing aids. Now, in this training, in this webinar, we will be going over the initial setup, as well as processing managed care patients and orders, as well as tracking plan expiration dates, reporting, and marketing. Now, with all of that said here, we'll go ahead and jump into the blueprint here to get this started. For the initial setup here, we're going to start by adding in our third-party managed care provider or managed care company here. To do this, we will head into the setup menu here, and we are going to come under the 3P payers option here, and we'll go ahead and create a new one here. For this, we will go ahead here and add Hearing Care Solutions. Again, we will go ahead and put in the name there, as well as any additional information here relating to their offices here. So with this, we'll just go ahead and input some information here. And now, lastly, we are just going to want to make sure that we have the Managed Care button here selected. This will automatically set the revenue group here to Managed Care, and this will also feed data into your revenue group report here. This will then allow you to see a breakdown of managed care versus private insurance versus private pay revenue here. Now, once we go ahead and create that here, we will now have this in the system, and we'll be able to add that to patients' third-party payers tab. Now, along with this here, we will want to add the associated fitting fees with those managed care companies. So to do this, we are going to come under the pricing and 3P payer coverage, select the services, and we'll go ahead and create a new one here. For this, we will go ahead and we will call this one, excuse me, HCS fitting fee. And along with this here, we'll go ahead and input the price of $700 here, and we'll mark that as tax exempt here, and we'll go ahead and create this here. And lastly, what we're going to want to do here as part of the setup is we will want to also add a service plan here for this specific managed care. Now, this will be specific if the managed care plan is based on a duration of time rather than a set number of visits here, but we'll still add that here, and we will come back to how this will look here. Again, we'll call this just HCS, and we'll just say hypothetically this plan will be 12 months long here. Now we'll go ahead and create that, and now we will be moving into the process here of how we will be able to process the managed care patients and orders here. Now to do this, we're going to go ahead and pull up a patient here, and we'll go ahead with our test patient, Joel Miller here. Now we are going to want to start under the third-party payers tab here, and we're going to want to go ahead and add that managed care company. So for this here, we'll just want to go ahead here and select hearing. So sorry about that there, guys. They had a slight hiccup there with the headset there, but we should be good to go here now. Picking up where we left off here, we are in the process here of adding the Hearing Care Solution managed care company onto this patient file. Again, we're going to treat this just as we would with any other insurance company here, so we'll come into the 3P Payers tab here, select the click here to add 3P Payers, and then we can enter in the information here with this. Again, we'll select self in terms of the relationship, and then we can select Hearing Care Solutions, and then lastly, we will just need an ID number entered here. Now, it should be worth noting here that not every managed care company will have a ID number associated with it here, but you can enter anything in there. For example, I will just put a dash there just to indicate that there is no ID number associated with that. Once we go ahead and save that, we will now be ready to start processing the order for the hearing aids. Now, in order to do this, we are going to want to follow the order, receive, deliver method here within Blueprint. To start here, we are going to go ahead and select the Hearing Aids tab, and we will go into Order New Aids here. Now, once here, we will now be able to start inputting and selecting the hearing aids that the patient will be ordering here. You will notice here that the 3P payer will be listed as Hearing Care Solutions, and in doing and having that third-party payer selected there, it will default all price of the hearing aids to $0 there. That way you'll be able to order or record the order there without having it again affect your average selling price with having those prices there. So for this, we'll go ahead and select the hearing aids, and we'll just go with the Starkey 3 series here, and we'll set left and set right. And then we will select the next option 2 times here in order to get to our services. Now, under the services list here, we will now be able to add the Hearing Care Solutions fitting fee. Now, once we have that here, we can go ahead and hit the next option here as well. And now we will be able to see a breakdown of the order here. Again, you will be able to see these information bubbles right next to the hearing aids that just indicate that these are covered by managed care and therefore will enter in at the $0 amount, but you will be able to see that fitting fee listed right there. Now, lastly, towards the bottom here, you will see the Hearing Care Solutions will have this amount automatically allocated to Hearing Care Solutions. And you will note here that if we try to remove the allocation there, it will not actually be removed here. In order to do that here, you will have to uncheck this automatically allocate box here, where you can input 0, and then it will move it to the patient payable. The only time you would need to utilize that here is if the patient maybe came in to say buy just a set of batteries or order or pay for something that is not going to be covered by the managed care company there. Now that we have that selected or finished here, we can go ahead and select the save order option here. Now you will be able to see these on the patient's hearing aid tab, much like you would with a normal set of hearing aids that were ordered through Blueprint. The only difference is you will see here that there will be this blue tag listed on the hearing aids indicating that these are managed care. And you will also be able to just see the name of the managed care company as well. Now for the next step here, we're going to want to right click on this and receive the items here. Now, if you are familiar with this process, you will note that there is no option to receive items with a bill here. The reason for this again is because with the managed care, the patient should have those hearing aids with them and therefore they should not have any bill associated with them. So now we can go ahead and select the receive items here and input the serial number, same as we would with any other hearing aids here as well. Now, you'll also be able to double check the warranty and loss and damage warranty expiration date, but if everything is looking good there, we can go ahead and hit the save option here. Now, lastly, we just want to deliver these hearing aids same as we would with any other set, but before we do that, I just want to make note of one more thing here. On the left-hand side here, you'll be able to see the order screen here. If I go ahead and select that here, this will show you the list of all of the hearing aid orders that are currently in the system here. But if you note up here, we do have this option to show managed care only. And by selecting that, it will remove all other hearing aid orders from here, just so that you'll be able to see just the managed care orders here. And again, along with this, you'll still be able to see the blue tag there indicating what managed care company that patient has there. Now, moving on from there, let's go ahead and go back to the patient file here, and we will go ahead now and deliver these. So to do this, we will right click on this and select the Deliver All Items option here. In doing so, we will be able to double check the last few things here. Again, we'll just want to confirm that the price and everything is correct here and just make sure that this is properly allocated to Hearing Care Solutions. Once that's done here, we can go ahead and select the Create Invoice option, which will move those hearing aids to active, and we will have an invoice popping up here in just a moment. Alrighty, so then we will have the hearing aid all set up here. Again, you'll see it will be billed to the patient here, but you will see the Hearing Care Solutions payable will be at $700, indicating a price of $0 for the patient there. And again, under the sales history here as well, you will see that there will be nothing allocated to the patient, but rather it will all be allocated under the third-party total for Hearing Care Solutions. Now, moving on from here, we are going to go ahead and show how you will be able to track the expiration dates of these managed care plans here, whether that is going to be from a specific duration of time or a specified number of visits to the clinic here. Now, for this example here, we are going to go ahead and right click on this here, and we are going to select the edit details option. In doing so, you'll be able to see down here, we are able to select the service plan. Now, as you will recall from the beginning of, or towards the beginning of this webinar here, we added HCS as a service plan here with a duration of 12 months here. So we'll be able to see that the service plan will expire on May 30th of 2025 here, indicating that 12-month period. We'll go ahead and select that for this hearing aid, and we'll do it on the left or the right one here as well. Again, by right-clicking on the hearing aid, selecting Edit Details, selecting HCS as the service plan, and hitting the OK option. Now you'll be able to see the manufacturer loss and damage warranties, as well as the hearing care solution service plan here. Now, along with this here, there may be a time here where the hearing aids are going to, or I'm sorry, the plan for the patient will be set up based on a specified number of visits here. In order to keep track of that here, we can go into the summary screen here, and I'm going to start by hitting refresh here so that we can see the most up-to-date information. But what we are going to do here is come under the patient drop-down menu here and select the edit note option. Now, what we can do here is we can say something like HCS visits or something of that nature here. And then we can go ahead and start keeping track of these here. We can say, for example, the first one here was for today, and then maybe the patient had one scheduled out for the following month. So we can say something like maybe 6/24 is when they are coming in here. And then you will be able to do the third, fourth, so on and so on there in order to keep track of those visits here. And once we save that and hit the refresh option, you will be able to see this note here directly on the patient summary screen. Also, you will be able to see it from the patient browser so long as the patient is highlighted here. And one more place that you'll be able to see this is if you are on the scheduling tab here and you are going to schedule an appointment for this patient here. Let's say we're scheduling them at 2 o'clock here. I can look up Joel Miller here, and when I hover over their name here to select them, you will be able to see that note from here as well. That way you'll be able to kind of keep a mental note of what visit that they will be on for that specific day here, so that you'll remember to update that as well. Now, one last thing here before we move on to the reporting, I just want to go back to the patient file here once more and just show you one more function with how you will be able to mark certain hearing aids as managed care. Before Blueprint had the functionality of being able to, being able to have managed care hearing aids and being able to track it in this sense, many customers of Blueprint utilize the add aid feature to add hearing aids so as to not again affect that selling price or the average selling price of hearing aids. If we pull up another patient here, and let's go ahead and add on a third or a managed care company here, we'll go ahead and this time around and say True Hearing. And if a patient on their file has hearing aids that are in the add or device added status, which again will be under the add aid, patient existing aid, and we will go ahead and go with this hearing aid here. Select just some basic information. Bear with me. Alrighty, so now that we have that here, and if there is a device that is, or an item that is in the device added status, when we come in here and there's a managed care on file, we'll just have to close on and reopen this to see this here. Thank you for your patience. When we right click on this here, because there is a managed care company on file under the 3P payers, we will be able to link this hearing aid to a specific managed care. And because this patient has True Hearing on their file, we can select that, and then we will be able to add that tag there. Again, if you were to, this is only going to be in an example of if you had to add hearing aids before we had all of these tracking features enabled here. So this way you'll still be able to keep track of those older hearing aids that may have been purchased through a managed care company. Now, with that being said here, we are now going to transition into the reporting portion of this training session here. For this here, I'm going to go ahead and pull back up our slide here and show you a list of the reports that we have available to use here with the managed care orders here. For this, we are going to recommend the 3P payer transactions, the AR aging detail 3P payer, the AR aging summary, the managed care transactions Excel only, the open transaction 3P payer, and the revenue group report here as well. One note here is that if you try to utilize the hearing aid sale and return detail, you will not see the managed care units on there. We don't want those hearing aids to lower your average selling price since they will be at a price of $0 there. So just something to keep in mind there. Now, lastly, we are going to be moving into the marketing search here or the marketing parameters here that you'll be able to enter in order to view these managed care patients here. So for this here, we'll go into the marketing tab here. And what we'll go ahead and do here is create a new one here. And for this, we'll call this HCS managed care or HCS patients here. And for this here, we'll select none just so that we can get a full list of the patients here. And now we'll go ahead and double click to enter into this screen where we can enter in the parameters here. For starters here, there are going to be two options we have available here. For the first one, we are going to go over the service plan expiration date here. Now, this is going to relate specifically to the service plan that we added on the patient file here. Now, in order to keep track of these, we're going to change the primary filter here from all active patients to service plans, where we can have this equal to a specific one here. So again, we're going to say that we are looking for the service plan and we are looking for an expiration date here. Now we're going to go ahead and enter in the month of May of 2025 here so that we will be able to see this patient here, that being Joe Miller. Now, in order to enter the date here, the formatting of the system will need to read it as year, month, and then day. So again, we are looking at May 1st, 2025 to May 30th, 2025 here. And then again, year, month, and then day. Once we have that selected, we can hit the execute option here, and we will be able to see our one patient populate on that screen here. We will have Joe Miller here, and we will be able to see the expiration date of that plan there, as well as the actual service plan there. Just a good way to help you keep track of those patients there that may have those managed care plans expiring within a certain number of days there or a certain month there. Now, along with this here as well, you will also be able to search for patients that have ordered hearing aids through a managed care company. Now, to do this, we're going to change this primary filter once more to the managed care hearing aids option, where we will be able to select a specific managed care company. So for example, we will go with Hearing Care Solutions, and then we'll just need to enter in the purchase dates here that we are looking for. Again, for this example, we'll go ahead and say May of this year so that we can see Joel Miller pop up once more there. So now we will be searching here from May 1st, 2024 to May 30th, 2024 here. And when I go ahead and hit the execute option here, we will then be able to see all of the patients that ordered a hearing aid through a managed care company within that time period there. Now, that is going to about cover it here for all of that is going to cover it here for the portion of going over all the information here. Now, I just want to double check here. Were there any other additional questions that we had here, or would anyone like me to go over any additional information here? Alrighty. Well, again, I will stay here for a few more moments here in case there are any other additional questions here. But again, if there are none, again, I want to thank you all so much for joining here, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day.